hire freelancers? Realistically, this is about 1 week of work. While researching website development, prices, tools, platform, I keep hearing the same thing over and over again. Every business needs a website. At some point, I stopped and thought, does it really? Does every small business actually benefit from having one? Or we just following an assumption without questioning? So, I tried to answer this properly. I looked at real solutions, real cost, and what building and maintaining a website actually means in money. And the answer turns out to be less obvious than it sounds. Let's start with something that many people don't like to hear. Not every small business actually needs a website, and this is completely fine. For example, some small neighborhood cafe, a local bakery, a bar with foot traffic. In these cases, people don't search for a brand experience. They search for opening hours, location, menu, and reviews. So, very often, Google Maps already does the job. Add Instagram with some fresh photos, and that might be more than enough. The same goes for solo specialists who work mostly with referrals. If 80% of your clients come from word of mouth, personal network, or repeat customers, then a full website may not change much. Another interesting example is handmade creators. If you're making candles, jewelry, ceramics, or custom gifts, you don't necessarily need your own website in the beginning. You can use platforms built exactly for that. Marketplaces where traffic already exists, payments are handled, logistics are integrated. So instead of building a website from scratch, you can start by selling through a specialized platform. In many cases, it's faster, cheaper, and more practical. So, the real question isn't, does every business need a website? The real question is, what problem is the website solving? If your business already works well with Google Maps, social media, or marketplace, then maybe a website is not the first priority, and that's okay. So yes, some small businesses don't need a website, but here's where it gets interesting. The moment a business decides it does need one, the next mistake often happens. We treat a website as one universal thing, and it's not. Before we talk about costs, we need to define what we are actually calculating and what is the difference between formats. The first and simplest option is one-page website. It can be a brochure website or a landing page focused on one clear action. These websites are usually designed for introduction to business or explaining a single offer and guide the user to one main action like calling, booking, or leaving a comment. These types of website works great for some small services business, solo entrepreneurs, or single events. You can also use it when you already get some traffic from social media or ads. They are simple, fast to build, and usually are the cheapest option. But they also have some limitations. If your business has some multiple services, complex pricing, or a longer decision-making process, one-page website can quickly become too restrictive. The next step is small multi-page website. Usually it can contain pages like home, some service pages, about and contact info. These websites are useful when you need to explain several services or build trust. It's also helpful when users need more time to decision. Normally, this format used by agencies and studios, coaches, and B2B companies. Compared to one-page website, a multi-page website gives you more structure and more flexibility. In the same time, it means more content, more design work, and more decisions to make. The next type is online store. It's completely different level, because now we are not talking about like a website, we're talking about a system with products, payments, transactions. Usually, an online store includes product pages, catalog, shopping carts, payment, and order management. This format makes more sense when the website is the main sales channel. When customers can see the product, understand it, and buy it without talking to you. It works well for e-commerce brands, digital products, and subscription-based businesses. But there is an important part. An online store, it's not just a website, it's a system. So you need to think about payments, delivery, refunds, customer accounts, and security. So it's not only about building it, it's about running it. And then we have the most complex type, a service-based platform. This is when the website becomes the product. Usually it includes things like booking system, user account, dashboards, payments, and internal logic. It could be booking platforms, marketplace, SaaS products, or service aggregators. In this case, the website is not just marketing, it's infrastructure. And that changes everything. You need development team, outgoing updates, maintenance, and long-term technical planning. This is the highest level of investment, but it's also the highest level of potential impact. This is why the question isn't simple, does a business need a website? The real question is, what kind of website actually makes sense for this business? Because choosing the wrong format can make even a simple website unnecessarily expensive and inefficient. Now, let's talk about something practical. Let's say you decided that a website makes sense for your business. The next question is, how are you going to build it? Because in 2026, building a website doesn't automatically mean hiring a developer and starting from scratch. There are several different paths, and they are very different in terms of cost, flexibility, and long-term responsibility. The first option is a website builder, platforms like Wix or Squarespace. They are popular for a reason. They are fast, they are simple, and you don't need technical skills to get started. Usually you get templates, hosting included, security handled, automatic updates, a visual editor. So everything is packaged together. That's great if you want something quick and easy. But there are trade-offs. Flexibility is limited. If you want something very specific, you might hit a wall. Scaling can become tricky, and moving away from the platform later is often complicated. So builders are great for landing pages, simple websites, or small online stores. Keep in mind, they are not always ideal for long-term growth. There is also another category that's a bit different from regular website builders, and that is platforms like Shopify. They're built specifically for creating online stores. So, if your business is mostly about products, physical or digital goods, subscription, Shopify can make a lot of sense. Usually, you don't start from zero. You already get a product catalog, a shopping cart, security checkout, payment integration, shipping setup, tax calculation, and even basic analytics. So, instead of building an online store piece by piece, you're stepping into a system that's already designed for commerce. And that's powerful. Shopify works really well when selling products is core of your business. But if your business is more about services, content, education, or a combination of things, then it might feel a little bit limited. And there is where the platform like WordPress become interesting, because they allow you to mix services, content, and even commerce in a more flexible way. The next option is WordPress. WordPress sits somewhere in the middle. It gives you flexibility, ownership, access to thousands of themes and plugins, and the ability to start small and grow over the time. You are not locked into one closed ecosystem. You can customize more, you can expand more, but it also means you need to choose hosting, theme, and plugins. And the maintenance becomes your responsibility. If it built properly, WordPress can become extremely powerful, and if it built poorly, it can become messy. So this option works well for growing businesses, service companies, content-driven businesses, e-commerce, and companies that want more control. Or your business model needs upgrade from site builders. And then we have custom development. This is the most flexible and the most demanding option. With custom development, you get full control, tailored features, unique design, custom integrations. You are not adapting to a system, you are building your own. But this comes with higher upfront cost, longer timeline, developer dependency, outgoing maintenance cost. And here's something important. With custom development, you are not just paying once, you are entering a long-term technical relationship. These options usually make sense when the website is a product or you need unique functionality. Now, let's talk about something very practical, not platforms, not theory, time and money. Because the real cost of a website, it's not just the subscription, it's your own time, a designer's time, a developer's time, and what happened after lunch. Let's start with the simplest case, one-page website. If you hire a freelancer, this can realistically take about 1 or 2 working days. That means layout, basic responsiveness, contact form, simple styling. Cost-wise, depending on a region, it could be anywhere from a few $100s to maybe around 1,000. If you do it yourself, you invest your own time. And that's important. Even with a builder like Wix or Squarespace, you probably spent several evenings or a full weekend figuring things out. On the top of that, the subscription. Roughly from $150 to $300 per year, depending on the plan. So yes, it's affordable, but it's still not a zero. Now let's move one level up. A small multi-page site. Home, services, about, contact, maybe a blog. If you hire a freelancer, realistically, this is about 1 week of work. Sometimes more. Because now you need structure, content organization, internal linking, better responsiveness, more design decisions. Cost range from 1,000 to 3,000 or more, depending on complexity and region. If you try to build it yourself using Wix or Squarespace, it will still cost you time, and yearly subscriptions stay roughly the same range. If instead you go with WordPress, you might buy a premium theme starting from $50 plus hosting. Hosting can range you from basic shared hosting, maybe from $50 to $100 per year, to specialized WordPress hosting starting from $300 per year. So even a simple professional website already becomes a mix of theme, hosting, maybe a few paid plugins, and your time. Now we are entering more serious territory. An online store is not a brochure. If you hire ми почнемо спочатку. Now we're entering more serious territory, because an online store, it's not a brochure. If you hire a freelancer, expect 1 or 2 months of work, because now you are dealing with products, payments, checkout, taxes, shipping, user accounts, security. Cost range, often starting from $3,000 to $5,000 and going up significantly. If you use Shopify, you will likely pay monthly subscription, transaction fee, apps for extended functionality, premium theme, possible developer help for customization. So your cost becomes subscription plus transactions fees plus time plus marketing and ongoing. And then there is a custom development. Booking systems, marketplaces, SaaS tools. This is not a website project, it's a product itself. You will need a designer, a front-end developer, a back-end developer, often a quality assurance specialist, maybe a project manager. Timeline, 3 to 6 months is realistic. Cost, let's just say This is expensive. And more importantly, it doesn't end at launch. You need maintenance, bug fixing, server infrastructure, continuous updates. So becomes a long-term commitment. And here is what many business owners underestimate. Even a simple website usually includes setup, layout and responsiveness fixes, small correction after launch. If you work with freelancers, you either pay per hour or per project. If you work with agencies, the structure is more clear, but the cost is higher. And small changes later often means paying again, waiting in someone's queue, and re-explaining your context. Those costs don't disappear after launch. So, how do you actually calculate when a website pays for itself? Let's break it down with a simple example. Imagine we run a small rental agency. We rent out photo zones for events. Our average order value 200. From this 200, 120 goes for production, delivery, salaries, 30 goes to marketing. That leaves us 50 net margin per order. Now, let's say our website cost $5,000. How many orders do we need just to break even? Very simple math. 5,000 divided by $50 margin equal 100 orders. That means we need 100 additional orders for the website to pay itself. Now let's think long term. If we also spend $500 per year on hosting, maintenance, small updates, that means we need 500 divided by $50 equal 10 orders per year just to keep the website financially justified. So the logic is simple. Website cost divided by average margin per order equals the number of orders we need to break even. And suddenly the question becomes clear. Not do I need a website, but can this website generate enough extra sales to justify the investment? And if yes, over what period of time? 1 year, 2 years? Once you look at it this way, decision-making becomes more rational because now you're not buying a website, you're making an investment. An investment should have expected returns.